Hey, everybody, welcome to Radical Books and Activists. It's been a minute, and I'll briefly explain why I haven't been on, but so glad today we have the honor and privilege of hosting Misael Juarez, who is also a co host, but he comes with amazing news, and so we finally got his book done, which we're going to talk about today. But the reason I've been gone is because I have depressive highs and lows, and I was in a bad slump, but now I'm getting better. So you know, we I think I've joined Team Mental Health Advocacy to raise awareness, especially amongst artists and Latinos and African American and people from minority communities that may see like mental health as stigmatized and don't want to get support. But that's not why we're here today. We are here because we have Misa Juarez, and we are going to be talking about this wonderful book, My Spoken Word Wife. This is actually a proof that we finalized. But Misai, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
I was born in Los Angeles, and that's where I picked up my craft, my writing style. I grew up to hip hop, so a lot of that hip hop influenced the rhyme structures that I use in poetry. And I also study at the California State University of Los Angeles, and I study English. So we read Shakespeare and all of those great poets that are classical, and that also influenced my poetry. So I grew up in LA, and I was doing things that were, I guess, call it dangerous, or living a rugged, or I was an at risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
I was blessed with the opportunity to go to school, where I picked up a new consciousness as far as the teachers and mentors that provided me with revolutionary ideology. And therefore, I started writing different. Before, I used to write about, death and things like that, and wasn't quite sure what to do because everybody in hip hop was talking about that. But then, as I opened up my ideas and to the public and started reading poetry, people would really like what I'm saying. And the more I thought about what I was saying, I thought more about affirmations, affirming things for myself, because if you speak it, then it becomes, or something like that. I don't know who said something like that, but um, these are affirmations that I wrote for women in particular in this book. Affirmations to see a certain trait in them, the certain virtues that sometimes go unnoticed because we are training ourselves every time we listen to hip hop music how to view a woman. And we are now entering a new era where all that stuff is flying out the window now.
Yep.
And so I'm writing to help out my brothers and engage in a different perception of a truer one, or take away the falsities that come with the hip hop, what hip hop has done to the view on women.
Right.
And I'm not blaming hip hop, I'm blaming the industry, because it's really the industry that chose to market that and make that a fashionable, whatever you call it. And now I'm seeing that hip hop artists aren't really all about that. They just think they have to do that simply because it's been a culture in that, and therefore I started off writing this book and these affirmations all for myself, in the sense that I have a daughter, and I wanted her to she didn't get to grow up half her life with me. She lives with me right now, but she didn't get to grow up with me, so I wanted to write something about women so she doesn't have to go through those negative affirmations. And now that I'm out the closet as far as having schizophrenia,
Mm.
I have probably all these other symptoms that I don't talk about simply because I'm not aware of them. But I also wrote this in collaboration with the hallucinations that I've been uh, dealing with. I tell people about my journey of schizophrenia just a little bit, but when I started experiencing voices and hallucinations, one of the hallucinations that kept coming up was my spoken word wife,
Mm,
and the voices would say, "Have you seen my spoken word wife?" And it's pretty funny now because there's actual chattering going on,
right.
and I hear different voices. Some of them sound humanoid, some of them don't sound humanoid, some of them sound like
So,
robots.
so this is the first time we've actually talked about this, and when you hear has she come to you? Has is it another personality or another ancestor, or have you heard the spoken word wife's voice?
Yeah, I hear her voice, and what she says, "Respect me." She says, "Respect me," but like in the mighty tone, like
Like
she's
like a chingona tone, like she's gonna get you with a fucking chancla if you don't respect her like that.
gonna hit me with a laser or something, like from outer
Órale,
space.
órale.
And and when I first came in contact with her, she said, respect me," and that's all I heard, and all the voices were saying, respect her."
That's deep, dude.
Yeah, and whoever she is, or maybe we met in a different lifetime or something, or I don't know what's her process of, but at the beginning I cussed her out, like, "Where the hell have you been?" Like cussed her out because I kept hearing about her
Oh, but you didn't meet her.
from other voices. I kept hearing about her, and I was going through so much turmoil or whatever, like just agonizing, like, what is this all about? And I cussed her out at first because one of the voices said, "Let her know how you feel, how you truly feel." And I've been writing about you. I've been doing all this stuff. This is all the phenomenon of schizophrenia. Like, if I could paint the picture clear, like, I don't know what's going on. We're in a parallel universe, or what's going on. Like something's engaging me in at this frequency, and I'm picking it up, and I'm trying to describe what's going on. So it took up a lot of my time, and I got to spend time with her. She would talk to me, and she just telling me that she's watching over me, and I feel like that's happening with the other voices, the ancestors, or
Mm.
whatever you want to call them.
Well,
um
share a piece with us. Let's hear. Maybe I don't think it was in the list, but maybe could you read the very first poem, which is like an anchor piece with the theme of my spoken word wife. So my spoken word wife, Playing for Keeps by our guest Misael Juarez, is out for purchase now on Kindle, paperback, and hard copy. And I've also given a PDF. It's by Body Blues Press, my own press. It's a charity press, and thank God Misael is choosing to donate all of his sales from Amazon to charity because you inspired Eric Allen Yankee, who I'm going to publish in a few more books, who is also going to give all of his money to the same organization. So you're making a difference, Misael. I just want to
that's
thank you.
great.
It is, and I was like, "Whoa, brother! I wasn't trying to guilt you. I was just letting you know, you know." But
That's
you both are phenomenal poets, and it's my honor to have collections by you. But you were the first. He's the first represented author by Body Blues Press. This is so super exciting for me, and yeah. So let's hear my spoken word wife.
You want me to read that poem? The poem?
I think so. The first one, which is on page 20.
All right, so here it goes. She's a beautiful brown petite woman, bringing out my humor and wit full of wisdom. I'm speaking about the poetic Vario goddess. She rules my heart and brings out loving comments. I'm inspired by her soulful, loving nature, pleasing her with words that spell out raw danger. And writing about her bright world is easy, every word filled with light bringing her home to me. Yet sometimes the world spins like an oldie record, and she's a chola singing through stormy weather. I never surrender to her imperfection. I'm surrendering to her will as a blessing. I penetrate the world with an infinite look. She purposely looks like a dork with a book, while I'm planting a tree in every neighborhood, making it up to nature for the paper she took. Her world is like a still, soft, and sweet melody, and like a detective, I solve a mystery. I'm on the edge of discovering my real gifts. seeing my destiny without the crucifix. I hold her hand and I get more respect, forever feeling like this book is my mistress. I see her pain was never meant to be sold, but like the river, she is owning true flow. She's the best hand I ever had, so place your bet. Playing my hand like every star depends on it. Her smoke protects me from evil grins, blowing smoke as I flip the wild aces to win. Living on the edge makes me dangerous, as they give awards for making bold statements. I celebrate her style at LA open mics with this dedication to my spoken word wife.
Beautiful. I love it. Oh, you're getting chat. OJ, compay, I'll get you a book. He says, hey, solidarity, brother. We're also in the middle of a contract campaign, and oh my gosh, I'm having such a. This is my union brother from another college. He's a professional. He's an avid reader and also an excellent writer. Someday I will look at his manuscript as well. So one of the lines that caught me, and we read it and worked on this, and even just until very recently, we're looking over this piece, this part. It's on the one, two, three, four, fifth stanza, and it's this beautiful line. It says, "Her world is like this is in it, the last two lines. So her world is like a still, soft, and sweet melody, and like a detective, I solve a mystery. I'm on the edge of discovering my real gifts. This is the part, my real gifts, seeing my destiny without the crucifix." What does that mean? Because I thought, is it that, is it the, I don't know. Tell us about it. Tell us about that line. Because I
All
was
right.
in it.
So so these poems, like, we were talking about imposter syndrome a while back, and I'm glad you gave me that term, so I could use it now. Uh, because when I write, I'm not necessarily thinking, and I'm just writing what the voices are telling me to write. Right. So what this means, it just means that I feel like I could be crucified for being who I am, this cholo who sees and hears, call it spirit, call it voices, hallucinations, whatever. And I'm doing this thing. It was an act of courage, just to say,
Oh
wow.
yeah, for sure.
So I got to put myself out there, as weird as people are gonna look at me, and I have to say this is how this book is done. Otherwise, I cannot help my fellow schizophrenic brothers and sisters who are shy or in the closet of saying that they have this mental condition or spiritual condition or spiritual emergency that is not looked at or examined quite as closely as I feel it should be. So when
Right.
so when I say I'm on the edge of discovering my real gifts, it's just saying that I'm exploring like a shamanic path. I'm exploring like a curandero path or a metaphysical one. And and the other line, seeing my destiny without the crucifix. Well, that was just kind of like without looking at myself so religiously, without looking at myself um more than what I am. I'm just a human. I'm just a person caught between two worlds: the world of a spirit and the world of the physical reality, the social economic reality that we live in. And I'm just sandwiched between these two worlds. So I feel like, in the past, people have been killed because they displayed the same symptoms that I have been.
Yeah.
I have, so and it's tolerance. It's about tolerance, so I'm just trying to like affirm to myself that I'm looking at myself. Somebody is not gonna be persecuted, but someone's gonna be accepted and welcome.
Nice, nice. No, that's beautiful. Somebody was saying, is it the themes of sacrifice? And that's. I mean, we're in a repressive system that oppresses us economically, oppresses us for being racialized. Oppresses us, exploits us. But I do think that when it comes to mental health, one, we briefly talked about how a lot of this is a byproduct of capitalism, historical trauma. But like for right now, for example, a lot of people are suffering from anxiety and depression and are not happy with their work, and even before the pandemic. So we I think we also need to look at how the system we live in creates and doesn't give the right recourse. I mean, we have no healthcare system in the U.S. unless you have money to pay for it, and even then, it's a racket, right? So it's really difficult, one, to raise awareness to the mental health issues, and to really say, look, this isn't a stigma, right? You shouldn't stigmatize people with schizophrenia, people with depression, and what have you. So like I'm right now, I'm exploring my own mental health because I think I'm bipolar, which I like. Even I had negative associations with it, but really it's just a question of, like, for me personally, I cycle up and down, and when I'm good, I'm good, because right now I'm great. But when I'm down, it's terrible, and so I think it's the same thing. Like, it's similar, right? And people hear that. I mean, my family didn't have a very positive reaction to that, but you have one of the healthiest relationships, I think, and this is what one of the things I admire about you, to your schizophrenia, that you managed to elevate it. And I said this in the introduction. You managed to say it can be a blessing to have these conditions, and in some ways it's true.
Yeah, I got the book.
Again,
I got,
it can help produce a collection of poetry.
uh,
Vicente says beautiful words, brother. Thank you. Welcome to Radical Books and Activists. Hope you'll subscribe. And I've also put a link to the PDF of the book to a repost it, but it's a print version. You can read it on your Kindle reader. But and if you're broke, bro, just hit me up. I mean, we're the ones putting the book out.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, for sure. I'll put down my email. So if you guys want, I already bought two. Well, anyway, we won't get into our household dilemmas, but my husband told me I couldn't spend any more money. So, but you will get your copy. Maybe not this paycheck, but next paycheck. So hit me up on email. Hit me up on my socials. So, hit us up with another poem. The next one that you wanted to do. I don't have the list on hand. I should have kept it, but
So let's flip the paradigm here for a while, and let's not call them voices. Let's call them
okay.
let's call them ancestors, right?
Ancestor. Did you see that joke on my Facebook wall?
I didn't.
I can't wait for the time where somebody invokes their ancestors and my goofy ass shows up.
One day we're gonna be ancestors,
I know, right? But that's what
They're
I'm
gonna
saying.
they're gonna be wondering what the hell we were doing, and you're gonna show up laughing with all this laughter, like, maybe as if you have a schizophrenic relative down the line, they're gonna be listening to you, like telling telling them all kinds of revolutionary things. And
All right. See, where we going, brother?
so, no, the ancestors were saying, honor these girls who are still yet to be seen. The graffiti girls, we
Mm,
hip hop girls, and women that are hippity hoppiting, but these aerosol girls are still yet to be seen.
mm,
In the '90s, when I was coming up, there were these radical women that would just jump on a bus and start tagging it up with a spray paint, and I'm like, damn, like, and there was I was probably like 14, 13. I was like, damn, I don't even have the courage to do that, like, and the bus is moving and everything, and they're just doing their thing, right, as an act of rebellion. So this this piece is about that. I just kind of like started like seeing a few things, and I put it all together. So here's for this for these women, these girls who are now women, or these young girls who are dreaming of painting a wall. It's called Aerosol Girl. She wears a pink hoodie and lime green shoes. With long hair braids, she's an apple bottom jean muse, standing over milk crates to graffiti brick walls, coloring block letters with hearts that never fall. She hopped on a moving old city bus bumper, held on tight, and sprayed painted her name in wonder. She was arrested and fined, but she kept tagging and broke every law to follow her life's passion. Her rivals were graffiti boys who flared spray paint, competing against gambits with their fingers taint. Corporate advertisements don't last a long time. She can steal their show by tagging up business signs. Police look for acrylic paint on her hands. They shine bright lights on her face and left her out to stand, patting her down while grabbing her breasts like bastards. But she moaned to clown and gave her crew laughter. I saw her arrested, became a lonely drunk. Angry with the system, the city acts like punks. Cops aren't the answer. Teens condemned and damned. She even tagged up streets forbidden by big gangs. Someone is kidnapping indigenous women. She hit the streets to alert us with raw wisdom, representing graffiti tribes and their gambits, dodging Ralph Perez and corrupt Rampart badges. She made songs to describe fat arrows of spray tips, how to flare her concepts like letters when she spits, able to flip street knowledge to the rhythmic beats. She quickly made money and now she leads the streets. The moon is her best friend and the only lighting. She rattles cans. She's bound by guerrilla fighting. She's moving as a streetwise graffiti ninja. When she spray paints her name, she hollers at all of y'all.
I love it. That's one of my favorite poems. And the funny thing is, we were reading it. I teach creative writing. I teach at Harold Washington College. I've been there for so long. I've been there since. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's not about me. So I've been teaching for a very long time. Y'all can guess in the comments how long. Yeah, OJ says that tags are modern hieroglyphs. Totally agree. Um, we were reading this poem and they were like, "What are apple bottom jeans?" I'm like, "Really?" You know, but they liked it. The message was there, and I think they'll really enjoy uh hearing it tomorrow. So tomorrow, if I'll invite all of you to come virtually or in person, if you're at Harold Washington College, we're launching the book. He's going to come speak to my creative writing class. And I'm going to stream it. So if you can't be there, I can send you the YouTube video later. So my students who can't make it can watch it on their own in an unlisted YouTube channel. But I think it connects with people because I mean we have a huge tag culture here in Chicago, and I know that I have students that were former taggers or are taggers, and they really dig it, and I like the empowerment of women in that piece. So really well done. But you also said your daughter, you did wasn't your daughter for a time doing this kind of thing too?
My daughter's mother, we were both in the same graffiti crew. We were both tagged.
Get out!
Yeah.
What? That is a whole story in itself. That is
Yeah.
epic. How old was she when she first started tagging your daughter?
No, not my daughter didn't tag. My daughter does drawings. She draws.
Oh, it was your okay. I feel you. I feel you.
My baby's mama like to say it just like that. She was the one that we would go on missions and just start trying to do our thing. And my daughter picked up the habit of drawing on the walls simply because I heard that kids draw on walls, so I would put construction paper on the wall, and I would just put a bunch of colors. So I was in my head I was training my daughter how to do pictures and drawings on walls, but but just so she would draw home and not go out in the street. Like she could learn how to do
Right.
home, and she became a great artist. She's a really gifted
That's
artist,
awesome.
and but her mom and me were doing the thing for reals, and just grow. You live and you learn and grow.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, I can't. Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty dope. That's
Yeah,
something I wish I knew how to use this break. Anyway, I can't. But so
you can learn.
yeah. Okay, so Vanessa Ixta says, "So proud of you, brother. Breaking down walls and building awareness. Absolutely, totally on point." And
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, Vanessa.
Vanessa goes way back. She's a fearless woman too. She battled. She has. I'm gonna put you out there, Vanessa, because I think your story is interesting and inspiring.
Sure,
Because
let's hear it.
she recently has, I believe, defeated cancer, and
Oh,
we went to school together since elementary, and she was this brave woman. She shared her story, not too much, but she it's like she was all on her own, but I'm pretty sure she had a lot of um
wow.
a lot of friends supporting her. But shout out to Vanessa for her courage to continue beating this whatever that was, that hit or whatever that life gave you. So
Amen to that.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, that's a beautiful story, beautiful thing to say about our friend here who's joined us. Um, But Vanessa, you also welcome tomorrow at 9:30. So I'm excited because Misael has come to speak to my students before, but this time I get to give them copies of the book. So that'll be super exciting, and the PDF as well. We may put the Kindle book on up for free, but it'll probably not be free until Tuesday. So I'll be sure to let Misael advertise so you can download a Kindle copy, and it's easy. At first I was very Kindle resistant because I'm old school, but I have books on Audible now. My Kindle has like 30 books I gotta read. I got books, a hardcover, you name it. So it's good to have a variety because the book is also really beautiful to read while you're on the train reading Misa's book. Hey, so let's hear another one. I
Request? You got a request?
uh, do we have a request? No, actually, you read my favorite, but the ones you're playing, they're all so good, and they all tell such a different story. But maybe when you're done with these three, I do love that multiverse poem a lot. Her multiverse,
All
such
right.
a great piece. But if we have time, otherwise we'll just do it again some other time. And oh
This
wait, so I noticed you were reading from the book though. Have you been a good boy and memorized your poetry?
oh man, you know what? I can't. I was just gonna read. I was like,
With feeling, Misael, with feeling.
all right.
What I tell my
I
students, read with feeling.
try to bring it like a lyric poet or whatever, but I don't know. All right, this one's called La Pachucada, inspired by those crazy women that are always doing the damn thing. You find out. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. All right. She has ink tattoos that read life gets easier. Her kung fu spin kicks make her a hardcore sister. She's the woman in the mirror breaking it down. Through the looking glass, she enters with sonic sound. The lady Zoot Suiter plays police computers. She's Carmen San Diego with magic elixirs. From the crazy west side to east side boulevard, she's time traveling in a classic bomba car, treating the players club like couch potatoes. Smoking from her wooden pipe, she lets go of smoke, blasting enemies while schooling little homies, recording herself singing to classic oldies. She became America's number one stunner, praying with good deeds because actions speak louder. But she's wanted dead or alive by the fascists. They want her gifts and talents, but life's about risk. She can dance the jitterbug just to play homage, escape from evil setups with kicks and punches. La Pachucada in her brown suede coat and chant with a robin's bird feather on her black brim hat. She understands life's trouble and goes full throttle. The spirit 007, Kim Possible. They hide her they hide their evil like demonic masterminds. She outsmarts the devil's advocates with slick rhymes. She can take a phrase and rhyme it with her sayings, record it where it will be played at Lover's Lane, mold you with her dynamic static to Grove Hills, counting the stars like syllables with love that's real. The forces of adversity hit a dead end. She came in with dual guns and left behind dead men. I ran into her and it was good to catch up. She bought me a cup of coffee to show me love.
Yeah, that one I love too. And I mean, this one I think is one of your most consistently rhythmic poems from the because they all have really good rhythm. They're like the da 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 da, but this one is so musical. Props to all these. I knew who Carmen San Diego was, and Kim Possible. Hopefully, the students tomorrow will as well. But it's just gorgeous, and that juxtaposition. I love this last stanza. There's this really the forces of adversity hit a dead end. She came in with dual guns and left behind dead men. I ran into her, and it was good to catch up. And then there's a switch, like all this, like she's kicking ass. But then she bought me a cup of coffee to show me love. I love it. I love that ending. There's something so cool about it. So let's talk about the cover of this beautiful collection. It's again my spoken word wife playing for keeps, and the cover is by Halo Martinez. Was it or Ramirez? I just found out his last name.
Halo Rodriguez.
So tell us about Halo and how this cover came to be.
Halo is a homeboy of mine that he was maybe about like 2 years younger than me when I was like 14. He was like 12. But that during that time
Yeah, that would be 2 years, Misael.
that, that makes a huge difference when you're out
Yeah,
kicking it.
no, it's true. It's true.
So Halo. Halo got caught in trouble. He got in trouble because he was listening to the I want to say older homies, but they were like 17 or 18, just telling the younger kids what to do. And he got in trouble and caught a charge for a shooting. And
Mm.
he must have done maybe about, I don't know, 20, 25 years or something.
Kidding me?
20 years. He did 20 years, and he recently got out. And when he got out, I told him, I little tear came out my eye. I go like, damn man, I'm so glad you're home, man.
Mm, mm, mm.
And he became this great artist in jail. He was known as the guy who would do all the art and send art out to the mailboxes of people. People would hit him up, and they'll give him he was able to get by off his talent of working the art. And Halo has a daughter who is special needs.
Mm.
He showed up very mature, very just about working. He does tattoos now. And as you could tell, he's very requested because
Oh
of.
my gosh. I said this because I just said this trendy cool thing. I'm feeling like a tattoo on my scalp. But if I had anybody tattoo my body, it's gonna be Halo because he's got talent. But you forgot the most important part about this wonderful cover is that it is an homage to a cover of a comic from, was it the Uncanny or the classic X-Men? This
uh,
is the classic, right?
yeah, it was from the X-Men. It was a Gambit and Rogue. It was a picture that I found online. And I told Halo, hey, can you draw something like this? He goes like, yeah, I could
It's
draw.
perfect. I used to own that comic before my dad ripped it up. And that's exactly what the stance was, except that Rogue was a little more sexualized. And if you know the story of Rogue and Gambit, which I dressed up as for the in the past anyway. So Rogue and Gambit were in love with each other, but the superpower that Rogue has prevents her from being touched. So it was this high drama tension in the comic, and this was one of the most moving depictions of them both on a cover. But I love it. I just think it's so well done, and it's vibrant, and there's something nostalgic about that orange that reminds me of youth. But I'm not to brag on me, but this is probably one of the most beautiful books I put together. And we collectivized that work. We worked on the Aztec, like we have like these little Aztec thingamajiggers that I thought were cool. And then I don't remember why, but we settled on putting arrows. They had some importance at the time. I don't know. The voices were saying to put arrows in the book, but you know what? It turned out to be really pretty.
Oh, what's going on? Are you there? Can anybody say anything? Are we still live? Well, I'm not sure if the audience are picking this up, but I guess you froze, or maybe I froze or two along with it. So I'm just talking. Um, bear, just be patient. Let's see what happens. So thank you for everyone who has commented on the video. That's Jesus right there. She said the Wi-Fi sucks. Um, so we'll see what's up. All right. So maybe I should read another poem. I'll read another poem. Can somebody comment to see if you guys are still attentive? All right. Let's try it out. So I never look back or down on my bad luck. It's never late to ride a flight for sitting ducks. But if the economy wishes automation, there were mighty ducks to ask for revolution. I'm writing for fallen graffiti artists, honoring dreamers with hip hop hits that uplift. The world persecutes the street poet and artist, when they try to pass racist laws that are fascist. The corporate media speaks nonsense about us, blaming gangbangers for rotting the city buzz, and then turn to exploit our street gangster wisdom, but we view diamonds like a curse on poor children. Is
Sorry
that
about that. Let me my Wi-Fi sucking. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I think it might be the rain. So they could still hear you. So continue. I apologize.
Oh,
Continue.
all right. Yeah, I started reading another poem.
A ver, could you do me a love favor? I mean, it's not really a love favor, but can you start over just for me?
All right, let's just start it. So I never look back or down on my bad luck. It's never too late to ride a flight for sitting ducks. But if the economy wishes automation, then we're mighty ducks to ask for revolution. I'm writing for fallen graffiti artists, honoring dreamers with hip hop hits that uplift. The world persecutes the street poet and artist when they try to pass racist laws that are fascist. The corporate media speaks nonsense about us, blaming gangbangers for rotting the city buzz, and then turn to exploit our street gangster wisdom. But we view diamonds like a curse on poor children. While some think they have it all, they walk in the dark. To shine on the streets, you must have courage and heart, staying pure like brown children extracting cocaine, born to rebel, freeing their villages from pain. While most rappers don't challenge the cruel injustice, my rhymes slap up the system with raw messages. Because if you're homeless rapping on the boulevard, know that being skilled takes practicing hip hop bars. When I take a chance, the tools are in place to go. Fans surround the stage like it's made of gold soul. The world spin as the DJ plays old school records. I start to rap with the mic like a go-getter. She can smile and break a curse on me with pure love. Knew it all along that heaven paid me a dove. Changing the economy with my poetry has me writing my verse simply for unity. She wears an ocean blue dress with bright sparkles, dancing under stage lights. We drop the hottest flow, being photographed by a hip hop magazine. We bomb the scene with revolutionary dreams.
That's beautiful. That's also. I mean, I say that's my favorite. No, that's my favorite. They all highlight something that's so important, you know. And we had talked about this. That you restructured your poem. Obviously, they're quatrains, right? And they end rhyme in an ABAB pattern, which is beautiful. And I'm not a lover of rhymes. I gotta say that I'm a snob when it comes. But your poetry doesn't sound like it's rhyming in a way that's forced. But how when you said that you had the opening and then how do you structure your poems? You've actually grown into your voice in a pattern of sorts.
Right. I noticed that that all has to do with that being or the one that doesn't have a face or mouth telling me how to do it. And they say that all writing is well what Shaman told me, that he told me that every bit of creativity that we get is sponsored by another world. And
Mm.
spirit of creativity has its way of inspiring. You call it the muses, right? In classical literature, they call it the muses, right? The muse that inspires you. So the way that the shaman taught me was that it is a spirit that has that. It's the spirit that working with my spirit that it creates that type of structure. And because I'm very sensitive to it, I'm able to pick it up much easier. But it's not easy writing these rhymes because I wrote them over and over.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
You
sure.
know how I wrote them over and over and over and over again. So, anything else you have questions about that?
No, I mean it's just fascinating. Because I think it's cool. I mean, I think once you start to master your craft, I don't mean like broad your own personal craft. When you start to master what that's supposed to look like, how you express your truth and your voice, I dig it, man. I'm still trying, and I mean this may be the life quest, and poetry transforms and the voice changes and whatnot. But I think it's cool, man. I dig it. Um, but that poem though, the one you just read, it's just such a gorgeous piece. And again, it uplifts the reality of people living on Harvard Street or whatever, without appropriating the culture, without being condescending, without speaking up for women. Because you're expressing what you've lived and what you've seen. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it all. And I had a oh this is kind of random, but not. So you have a very good relationship, and you've been able to not fall for the popular culture or the culture that says schizophrenics are crazy or sociopathic and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But could you tell the story about when the voices led you to the woods? Because I had not heard the story until recently, and but it's so funny. So could you talk about that?
Uh, yeah, sure. I'll talk about that. So when I was in Oaxaca, Mexico, in a village, a 5 hour drive from the city, uh, and we're surrounded by woods and mountains and rivers. I was experiencing a lot of psychosis, So I went, I looked at a being that looked like my grandfather. Probably it was my grandfather.
Mm.
And I asked it, are you really this being? He goes, yeah, I am your grandfather. Like, follow me. And then there's stories about like duendes when they show up, they they get people lost or whatever. It's like a spiritual experience, right? So said we're gonna take a walk, and I kept walking and walking, and eventually I've been walking for 3 hours into the woods, and I was going downhill because I was going down the mountain.
Oh my god! You didn't tell me that part.
I was going down the mountain and past the trees and the cercina, the pine needles.
That
They were
sucks.
stacked up. They were stacked up like about this high. It was very slippery,
Holy shit!
So um, and I was thinking there's probably snakes under all those leaves or
Scorpions.
scorpion, all that stuff,
Right.
So and then I heard wild hogs. I heard them doing all that stuff, and I was like, they were in the distance, and when I would hear like animal noises, I'll make more noise just to so they could go away. And so I found myself very tired and hungry. I didn't have breakfast. It started when journey started. My journeys, my journey started at probably like nine or 8 in the morning, and it didn't end till like 8 at night. I kept moving and moving and moving, so it took a lot of energy. So I didn't have my breakfast, and so I went down and down. So like it was slippery, so I slipped a few times. I just kept moving and moving. I fell on the cactus. Yeah, it was on my back, like it was with the needles. It was like on right on my back, on my fingers. I had to take it out slowly. And
Jesus.
yeah, it's like in the cartoons, right? So um, I kept moving. Eventually, I wanted to get to the river because the river. I know if I found the river, I could follow the river, and they will show me a path to get back home. And I didn't want to go up all that slippery sarcina or the pine needles because it's just more difficult. So I guess I was like in a survival situation, but I knew I was gonna be alright. I knew I was gonna be alright. I go, as long as I find that trail, and I was thirsty and everything. So as I was trying to get going down the barranca, well, how do you call barranca in English?
The bank.
The bank, the canyon, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to climb down, so I had to. And along the way there was an African bee in Oaxaca that it was just one. It wasn't like a whole bunch of them, and it started stinging me in the face as I was trying to climb up. It was stinging right in the forehead, like boom, boom, and I could feel his anger. I could feel his anger towards me, like really angry. And I was wearing a hat. I was wearing a hat, right? So I managed to get the bee and trapped inside my hat while I was wearing it. So I was thinking I'm gonna be slick, I'm gonna kill this bee right now. I'm gonna crush him right on my head. So I hit my head, a few times really hard. And then out of curiosity, I wanted to see if I got him. Now he comes out even more pissed off, and and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it, So
Sorry, dude. but the funny part too is this is fucking hilarious that the whole village was looking out for him like a search party.
Yeah, there's a
And then they put shit on Facebook. Have you seen this man?
yeah, and that was just me having my moment of psychosis, and all of that could have been avoided, saying like, I'm gonna go to the river, I'll be back. As I was walking back, I could hear people yelling Misa, hey, and I was so my mouth was so dry. It was so dry, like I couldn't even say anything. I just kept walking,
Oh my god.
and so I when I got back, I had a little bit of my clothes got messed up from the fall and all that stuff. And one of the villagers looks at me once. They helped me out because my it's all bad. I'm really bad. I'm in a bad situation. That shit is real. Like those wilderness
That be
exploration.
fucked you up. I
That
don't know
shit
what you're
fucks
supposed to learn
up.
from that.
Yeah. So
What is the
so
spiritual lesson? Sorry.
I got lucky. I got lucky because I found a bottle of. That's my chihuahua right there. I found a bottle of what is that? Sparkly water.
Yeah.
It was,
Like
it was
like
hot,
yeah.
but that saved my life.
Wow.
That saved my life.
That's
Oh,
awesome, dude.
I'll put this on mute real quick because we're gonna do it. Or maybe it's not necessary, but
No, it's fine. It just adds. I'm sorry. That is just such a funny story, and so Misael is gonna find pictures that they posted because he came a little messed up with bee stings on his face, and they posted that shit on Facebook. You just cannot make this up, and well, hey, why don't you close us out again? This is
all right.
Misael Juarez, author of
You
My
want
Spoken Word Wife.
you want to hear the multiverse, right?
Oh, I would love to hear the multiverse. It's been a real pleasure, Misael, and I'm sure we'll put the socials in the description. But again, either Monday or Tuesday or both days, we'll have the Kindle version available. Is that okay with you, Misael? I
I
went to I messaged you, but I didn't get a response. It's cool, right? If not, you can get the PDF. You can also use it on your Kindle reader. Hit us
yeah.
up. Yeah.
Get the PDF if you can't get the paperback, and put your what you think of the book on Amazon. If can they do?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they can
do
do that.
give us
Because
a
look,
review.
the reviews are what helps the press, and again, to charity press. So in this case, all the money's going to the League of Revolutionaries for a New America, which is an organization of educators and activists and artists. But we've also given money to Doctors Without Borders, Body Blues Press, that is, and also to the Chicago Freedom School. And that's pretty much it. I like to keep things simple because it's an independent press and I don't have an accountant. This is just a lot easier for me. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have also just heads up in early November. We're both gonna be in Los Angeles, and so we'll advertise some of those upcoming events because Misael is just now starting his book tour. This kind of launches it. And again, tomorrow, if you're interested, I posted the info in the chat. But he's going to be zooming into my creative writing class at 9:30 a.m. Central Time, and anybody's welcome to come in and ask questions and whatnot. So he's just super dope when it comes to talking to students. Really great. All right, let's hear it. The last piece, it is the last poem in the collection, you know, if I
No,
remember right. It's one of the
it's the
last.
second, one of the last
Second to
ones.
the
Yeah.
last. Órale, pues, let's
This
hear.
is where I start explaining about this relationship that I have. All right, with this being or person or whatever it is. I was asked to take flight over the galaxy using psychedelic means to kiss my lady. I understood the galactic empress wink fine every time I spat metaphors and cold space rhymes. She announced to me that we were always married, that she sent me to Earth to cleanse and be daring, that she sent me to Earth to win and play for keeps, to be a legend and a dangerous MC. But I must remain a resident on the planet, fighting for social justice, being a gambit. She says she's the one engaging my truest dreams, unwinding my memories throughout the whole scene. My spoken word wife came to me in a night's dream. She came from another dimension, clearing scenes, telling me to wordplay and play for keeps all day. We're separated by reality and the blue haze. She says she's always been my lovely spoken word wife. She's a galactic empress that purifies life. She exists in a different light reality. She channels through women that are so sweet to me. In a parallel universe reality, she sends me messages telepathically, igniting her sweet face in the night sky for me. Her lips are made with stars and clouds to be unique. She can take over a woman and speak through her, sending messages surprising with experienced words, giving me cues to believe in the feminine, serving and protecting, defending Earth's children. She smiles through the stars and speaks her poetic verse. All these women form the spoken word wife multiverse. I never ride alone. I'm always blessed with love to look up at the night, seeing her sparkling above.
Nice. That's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I like the concept of all of us being interconnected, you know. So Misael, I want to thank you again. Mis ah whew, I almost said the name. Okay, it's been a long week. It's been a long week with all the organizing on my end, but my spoken word wife playing for keeps is available on paperback, Kindle, and this was a bucket list. I've always wanted to create a hardcover. Finally, like top five. Like when I die, this will be one of the things I remember was that I finally produced my first hardcover. So that's been a real blessing, and
It
just want
was
to
it
thank you,
was
Miss Ann. It's
it was
been
a
good working
gift.
together. It's been great.
Thank you, and I appreciate all your efforts and helping me put this work together. You know, and believing in me and just taking a chance on me to put out the messages, the new conciencia that's coming in.
Sure. Well, you're an amazing poet. It's necessary given the political times. We didn't talk too much about politics, but we got to counter the fascism in this country and the attacks on women. And this is just one expression. So
Yeah.
we're going to end in with the sounds of Adam Gottlieb and One Love playing Libera Radicalmente. And I want to thank all the viewers. Yeah, quite a few. Please hit us up if you want copies of the book. Misael, if you want to drop your socials real quick, you want to tell them how to find you on Twitter and Facebook?
Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter, Schizoverse, Misael Juarez, Facebook. You just look up Schizoverse, like SCHIZOVERSE, and you'll find me on Twitter, you'll find Instagram, you'll find me on TikTok.
Goodreads as well. And I'll be posting all those socials, but for sure. So thank you again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, y'all.
Peace. All right.